Warning: this podcast is hosted by two brain-dead idiots with zero filter. Therefore, it contains language and opinions not suitable for all listeners. Viewer discretion is advised. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Virtual Tavern, a podcast where we talk about all things sci-fi and fantasy. Today is a very special episode because there is no Hunter Chambliss, only Adam, and joined by the very one, the only, the motherfucking beer wench. We're making Virtual Tavern history here. It's the first ever episode where it's just me. Oh, one of my soundproofing panels fell. That is perfect timing. That's fine.
You're gonna have to glue those.
I know, I gotta glue those. The fucking adhesive that came with them is like very cheap quality. Anyway, we are making Virtual Tavern history as this is the only episode where it's been just me and someone else, not me and Hunter. So this is pretty cool. The first time we've ever been able to have just me and Melanie on the podcast.
Yeah.
So this is a pretty cool fucking time.
Wait, we never had another?
No, not just me and you.
Oh.
This is the first time it's ever been just me and you.
Oh, we always talked about it. I forgot we never done it.
Yeah, well, we have a daughter, and as much as we love her, it's almost impossible to podcast with her in the room. We've tried it, and it just does not work.
Well, and I don't want her on screen just yet.
Yeah, we're like Michael Jackson having the hood over the baby's face and everything.
Yeah, I was telling Hunter we should call her Rose.
Oh yeah,
mm-hmm.
Rose Tico.
No, just Rose, and then he had to bring the Resident Evil reference. I was like, stop it.
But today is a very special episode because we are taking a break from talking about Lord of the Rings, the mainline films, and we're going to be talking about Lord of the Rings, the War of the Rohirrim. Yeah. The new film that just came out not too long ago. It came out, it had a limited release in theaters, and we were unfortunately unable to watch it in theaters. We wanted to, remember?
Yeah, you wanted to watch it for your birthday, and I was like, we thought it would be into movie theaters because, you know, it's Lord of the Rings, and then we were looking it up. It's not even playing in our small town.
Yeah.
It wasn't even playing in too.
Yeah.
So we're like, that was a little bit of a shocker. So we ended up buying it on Amazon, which works better for us because we have a daughter.
Yeah.
And we could only watch like maybe an hour before she starts getting in our face.
Yeah. But we bought it at home on home video.
Yeah.
And, you know, it was like $20 or whatever. I was like, you know what? I might want to watch it again.
Well, plus it's also good to support, I want to say, this franchise. So hopefully they can kind of improve and make more on it.
Yeah.
I'm okay with spending money on something that we actually appreciate and we love.
Yeah. But yeah, we're going to be talking about Lord of the Rings, the War of the Rohirrim. Taking a break from the mainline films. Just before we get into our content coverage, we usually do like a talking point recap and all that, but because this is kind of like a one-off, we're going to skip that. But just news about the channel. We've been doing great on YouTube. We've been doing great on Spotify. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for following the podcast. We greatly appreciate it.
Oh, so TikTok is back. So
oh,
that only lasted one day.
Wait, it's back already?
Okay. My husband doesn't follow TikTok, even though I send him TikTok
I deleted
videos.
TikTok.
I was so mad when he deleted it because I tried to send you a really funny fucking video, and you're like, "Not." He didn't even show you.
Yeah, I'm done with TikTok.
So then I have to send it through Facebook, and then it's just laggy. But it's back up. Hunter tried to. He was like, "Oh, like it's back up," and I was like, "Yeah, you know why it's back up because you know who wants his sugar babies."
Yeah. But yeah, so we're on YouTube. We are on TikTok. As much as I hate TikTok, you know, you got to play the algorithm.
It's a great I've learned so much. I learned how to steam mop because of it.
I hate TikTok. But we're also on TikTok. Yeah. We are on Spotify. We are on a bunch of different streaming platforms. So wherever you're listening to us, you're supporting the podcast. We greatly appreciate it. But I would prefer you to subscribe to our YouTube channel. That way you can get community updates if we're ever going to miss an episode or if we have something special coming. Something new to mention, we just barely started streaming. Hunter has been streaming actually for a while, but I just barely started streaming a month ago for the Virtual Tavern podcast. So we're covering Cyberpunk 2077 right now. So if ever we're kind of like not uploading for a week or two, chances are you could still follow us, the podcast, on Twitch, and we'll just be playing games for the podcast.
Oh my gosh. They play this really funny game about these little dogs that play poker.
Liar's Bar?
Yeah.
Yeah, we've been having a lot of fun on Liar's Bar.
You didn't even warn me. So when I join and then there's this poor doggy that goes down, I'm like, what? What just happened?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's a really fun game. So I would recommend watching them on Twitch because it's not just your boring type of Twitch. I gotta say, my husband does have a good sense of humor. So I do give him that. He's a good eye candy, but ladies, he is taken.
But yeah, if we are not uploading for a little bit and you still want to follow the podcast, follow us, me and Hunter. You can catch us on Twitch, Virtual Tavern, and also Creator is Hunter's Twitch name. Other than that, I don't really have anything else to say. It's kind of a short introduction.
We haven't got any emails and we haven't got any fan mail, but whatever, guys. I guess they don't love you.
That's something I forgot to mention is emails. So we would absolutely love to hear from you guys. It makes our day here at the podcast, me and Melanie and Hunter, when we get emails from you guys, our fans, and like fan art too. I have fan art from fans hanging up in this room.
Yes.
But we would absolutely love to hear from you. It makes our day. Our email is contactvirtualtavern@gmail.com.
Yeah. We have a fan mail that's currently hung up. It's about Oreos because my husband deprived me of Oreos when I was pregnant. So someone very lovely, close to us, has drawn a very beautiful thing about Oreos.
We've shown it on the podcast before. We love our fans. We love our fan art. So
yeah, we would love more fan art. We only got like one piece that you commissioned, but we would really love it. I gotta say, if you guys send him fan art, he's gonna wake me up at 3 a.m. because he gets so excited over it, and that's okay because I would love to see him excited. So if you guys even just say hello, it makes his day.
It would make my day.
It would. If you just send an email like hello, he just goes crazy. He'll wake me up at 3 a.m. with me and my child. Just like
Mel, somebody emailed. Oh my God. I wake her up like, oh my God. Like,
he gets so excited. He gets so excited. So please do. Also, make sure you guys hit that like follow and subscribe button because that really does help them. And if you guys do follow my husband on Twitch, follow him. Follow him.
All right. So let's go ahead and get into our content coverage. So the Lord of the Rings, The War of the Rohirrim. It's an animated film, first and foremost. Yeah. And I forget what studio animated this. They're not really well known as far as I know. But so we should just get the horse, talk about the elephant in the room, right? Mm-hmm. There's talks going around that this film was made strictly to keep the rights to the filmmaking of the Lord of the Rings books.
I think you're right, though. I really do, because Peter Jackson, his name is attached to this film. And his name is also attached to his name is not attached to the Amazon.
Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power?
Yeah, it's not attached to the Amazon. His name is attached to this, but he did not direct it. He inspired it.
Yeah, so
and that's different.
What I get from that is because this film uses a lot of the original score, like music, soundtracks, and names and places and art style from the Lord of the Rings films that Peter Jackson directed, I am willing to bet that's his only contribution to this film.
Yeah, and it is so I just looked it up. It is a new line of cinema. So they're not even popular that made this anime make sense.
New Line Cinema is the same company that made the Lord of the Rings films.
Yeah.
There's an animation studio. Like New Line Cinema are the producers and whoever made the anime are like the ones that directed it and actually like made it. Like New Line Cinema handles the distribution and the rights and all that shit. But I forget which anime company actually made this film.
How old is Peter Jackson?
He's like in his 50s, 60s now, I think.
Is he like kind of done with this like film?
As far as I know, he's not done with Lord of the Rings. He's going to be directing he's going to have a big role in the Hunt for Gollum movie.
Because I don't understand why he didn't direct this. I get it because it's not his line of work. But if he directed it, I want to say it would have been, it's a good film, but it's also not my favorite.
Yeah, so let's just go ahead and get into it. Whether or not you believe that this film was created just to keep the rights to the films, because I do believe the rights were about to expire. Like if you don't do anything with an IP for a certain amount of time, it becomes like open source, like open to the public. So
they're gonna fight over it like they fight over Spider-Man, because that was funny.
Yeah, but anyway, the film opens up with Hera, and there's the narrator in this film is actually Eowyn from the mainline films, played by Miranda Otto, I believe her name is. Eowyn plays a small role in this film as the narrator, and honestly, I kind of get it. Like they're the two fucking Eowyn and Hera are like the two strong female characters of Rohan.
Yeah.
So having one from the movies that we know narrate the life of this new character, I kind of understand what they're trying to go for.
Yeah.
But to me, it just didn't jive well. I love the character of Eowyn in the films, but here it just felt out of place.
It kind of did. Yeah. I mean, all of the characters so far in the Lord of the Rings franchise are very strong.
Yeah.
But also has that beautiful feminine side that I actually prefer.
Yeah. So the film opens up, Hera is getting narrated by Eowyn. She rides back to Edoras, which is the capital of Rohan, right? And you have Helm Hammerhand, which is basically the king of Rohan.
I love him.
We'll talk about Helm Hammerhand more. We'll plenty this episode.
Oh, yeah.
He's probably our favorite character.
Oh, I love him.
So there's Helm Hammerhand, who's played by Brian Cox. He's a very well-known actor. Probably the only actor that I know of in this series of voice actors besides Miranda and besides Christopher Lee that I know of. Brian Cox, he plays Stryker in the Wolverine films.
Really?
So Stryker's the guy that made Wolverine. In the X-Men 2 and 3, he plays Stryker.
Okay.
And he's also known for a bunch of other films too. I can't think of the top of my head, but Brian Cox is a well-known actor. But I don't know any of these other actors that played Hera, played Farolf and Wolf and Alwyn and Haleth. I don't know any of these guys. So mostly we're dealing with a C-list actor list.
But they might also be popular in other countries because when I was looking at the director, I cannot pronounce his name. Let's see if you can pronounce his name.
Which director?
It's this director.
Kenji Kamiyama?
It doesn't sound...
yeah, so
I don't know
it's handled by a Japanese studio, it sounds like.
I mean, they might be popular in other countries, but they're just not popular down here.
So we have Helm Hammerhand, who is the main character. He's the king. We have Hera, who is the daughter of Helm Hammerhand, who is the main character of this film. You have Freylof, who is like the cousin. You have Wolf, who is the little bitch boy, soy boy that throws a fit.
Oh gosh, yeah. I love that.
You have Alwyn, who plays like the old shield maiden that is like the caretaker of Hera, like the godmother kind of.
Yeah, she's sweet. And I love the guy who reminds me of Sam too.
Yeah, you have Haleth, who is one of the sons of Helm Hammerhand, who is like the big beefy one. You have Hama, who is like, he's still strong. He's still like a strong man. He's also the son of Helm Hammerhand, but he's more whimsical. He plays like a little flute.
All of his kids are strong in their own way.
Yeah.
He's just very protective of his daughter.
Yeah, he plays an instrument. I forget what it's called.
Oh,
Then you have Freka, who is the bitch-ass dad that comes to Edoras saying, oh, you need to marry my son and all this other shit. And he gets fucking folded.
I want to know the reasons for that, but we'll get into that in a minute.
So Freka is like the king of like, I don't know how to describe them, like the wild men in the Southlands or whatever. It's like the mountainous region south of Rohan. I think that's where they dwell. The movie doesn't do a good job of explaining where these people come from.
No.
But it's a nation people separate of Rohan.
I think they kind of expect you to understand the Lord of the Rings when you watch it.
I assumed that they were like the wild men of Dunland. Because in the Two Towers, Saruman like raises an army of like wild folk and wild men to burn all the villages of Rohan. And I'm assuming these are the same people, like just 100 years before, and they're getting revenge.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious because my mom doesn't watch Lord of the Rings, nor has she watched it recently or anything.
Yeah.
So I kind of wonder if she watches it, if she understands the franchise, because I feel like if you go into this movie biased, you won't understand it.
Well, even me, who's watched the mainline films 1,000 times, this leans more into the lore of the books, which I'm a little rusty on.
Yeah.
This film takes heavy inspiration from Peter Jackson's films.
Yeah, it's an inspiration. He didn't get to direct this.
But the lore, I feel like, is either made up on the spot as it goes, or it's in like the appendices, which I haven't read in a long time.
I kind of want to read them, but I kind of want her kind of a suspected or perspective on it because she's not ever watched The Lord of the Rings. I've tried to get her so many times to watch it, you know?
Yeah, like a newcomer.
I want her to watch it with Ray because then that way I could kind of know what she thinks of it because when you watch it, you're kind of confused.
So let's keep going down the cast list. We have General Targ, who is like the right-hand man of Brekka.
I love his little costume, by the way.
He's got like a wolf pelt or something on his right shoulder.
I love it.
It's very Games of Thrones-y.
Yeah, I love it. Like all the other costumes, I love his costume the most.
Yeah.
Just saying. Go on.
And then you have Leaf, who basically plays the little dipshit Sam to Hera.
I love him. He reminds me of Sam. He reminds me so much of Sam.
He's very clumsy.
He's so cute, though. He reminds me of Sam because Sam was the same way. Sam had this beautiful little heart.
Yeah.
I love him.
And then you have a character called Old Penacrook.
Oh, I never really felt attached to her.
No.
Just saying.
So you have Old Penacrook, and then you have Lord Thorn, who goes out like a bitch. We'll explain that more.
Yeah.
And then you have Saruman the White, who we'll get more into it, but it's a very wasted cameo.
It really is. I felt like they could have done more with him. I wonder why they didn't,
He has one fucking line.
He does. He barely shows up, and I feel like if they added him a little bit more, the movie would have been done better.
So that's the mainline cast. There's a few other side characters, but that's the mainline cast.
I like how they don't show Erilyn's picture. They just have her.
Well, she's the narrator. So.
She is the narrator.
So the film opens up. You got Hera. She's riding on her horse and everything. Eowyn's narrating her. And then she rides back to Edoras. She gets word from Olwen. Hey, there's visitors here. Your presence is expected in the Great Hall.
I love her.
And meanwhile, everyone's in the Great Hall. Helm Hammerhand, his sons, Hera is right next to him. And these people walk in, and it's Freka, General Targ, and Freka's son Wolf, and like a few bodyguards and shit.
Yeah.
The reason why they're here in the Great Hall is because Freka wants his son, Wolf, to marry Hera.
I want to know the reasons. They didn't explain it very well.
So the reasoning being is because Freka heard rumors that Hera was going to be married to like a nobleman of Gondor, and then Rohan would have become way too powerful. So Freka is wanting to install his son marrying Hera so that he can like kind of get Rohan's throne. It's like you know how old kingdoms you marry into power.
Yeah, I just don't feel like he loved her.
No, there's not really any. Well, I mean, Wolf is a bit of a simp for Hera, but that's only one-sided.
Yeah.
So do you remember the flashbacks? They were childhood friends growing up.
I think he's attracted to her power, but I do not feel the love. I really don't.
No, there's absolutely no love.
No love. That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't understand, like, because he's just following his dad blindly. He's not even a strong man to stand up to what he believes.
Well, I do think Wolf did find Hera attractive, but there's no love. It's more like passion. It's more like lust. It's like Wolf was more attracted to the power that Hera could provide him.
I want to say the movie would have done better with more of that childhood type of thing, then maybe I can understand why he wanted to marry her so much.
Yeah. So they enter in the Grand Hall, the Wildmen. I'm just going to call them the Wildmen of Dunlin faction. They enter the Great Hall. Wolf is wanting to marry Hera. And this whole time, Hera's like, no, I don't wish to marry you and all that shit. Helm Hammerhand is like, no, this isn't going to take place. My daughter's not going to marry any fucking savage man from the south.
Yeah.
And Freka is talking shit like, oh, this great hall of Rohan, And Freka's talking all this smoke.
Fucking Freka.
And Helm Hammerhand has had enough, right? He's like, all right, me outside now.
Oh, man.
Freka and Helm Hammerhand are now like defending the honor of their sons and daughters. So they go out, and this is your favorite part.
I love this part. Because the thing is, we just watched this movie. Rose is being fussy, and he's like, take off my cape, take off my crown. He's like, take off my earrings. Ready? Let's go, bitch.
Yeah. So
it's so dramatic the way they did it.
Helm Hammerhand gets ready. They take off their cloaks and everything.
Yeah.
And this whole time, Freka is talking mad shit. And they don't call Helm Hammerhand for no fucking reason.
No.
So Freka gets in some fucking dirty shots, right? I think Helm Hammerhand has his back turned to him.
Yeah.
And Freka takes advantage of that and gets a few gut shots in.
It was like more than one. It was like...
Yeah, he gets a few lucky blows in.
Yeah.
And Helm Hammerhand, he just takes one fucking swing, and clobbers him, folds him like a Yoplait tin.
Yeah, he didn't believe it.
Yeah. Freka wanted the smoke, was talking all this shit, and he got folded like a Yoplait lid, and he's dead in one shot. Freka is a little bitch that got punched in one shot from the dome.
Yeah.
And then he's dead.
Well, the thing is, like, Hellhammer was just like, he's not dead. There's no way. He's like, it's almost like he's looking at his hands. He's like, what? There's no way I did that.
I did that? Holy shit.
He's like, I wasn't even drinking this night.
Do you remember did you ever watch Invincible season 2?
I think I did. I think I did with you. It just got weird, like very weird the last season.
Oh, I don't think you watched it because when he's fighting, when Invincible's fighting Angstrom Levy, the guy with the big brain, he like fucking ends up killing him, and he's like, "I thought you were stronger."
Oh, I didn't watch it. Yeah, no.
Oh.
It's just like it's a good series. It really is, but it's just not my taste. I just,
Yeah,
I'm a little bit more feminine when it comes to that.
Yeah, so Freka was talking all the shit, couldn't handle the smoke, got one hit KO'd, ends up dying.
Me and you were looking at each other like,
did he really just kill him?
We were just like, wait a minute, this bitch hit him like more than once. I'm allowed to cuss, right?
Yeah, of course.
This bitch hit him more than once, and it's like he didn't even face. Like if you watch the scene, it's like he gets hit, boom, 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 and he's just standing there like without no sweat, no blood, no nothing, and then he's like, all right, it's my turn, right? And then he goes, boom. She's like, wait a minute. Did I really do that?
Yeah, so
he's not dead.
Helm Hammerhand looks at himself like, there's no way I killed him.
Yeah.
And everyone else is freaking the fuck out.
Oh, and Wolf comes in.
Yeah, Wolf the son comes in, and he's acting, this is the beginning of Wolf's fucking turn to little bitchhood.
Yeah, he does. I really hate this character. I wish they did it better because he just like...
They did Wolf's character dirty because from this point on, and it's only 15 minutes in the film.
Yeah, and you look at his little character with the scar, like a scar, and you're like, oh, he's
kind of a badass character, he looks like.
And then you find out the reason why he got the scar, and you're like,
yeah,
you're a little bitch.
He is a little bitch. So after this, he throws a temper tantrum. Like, I understand your dad just died, so he immediately lunges towards Helm Hammerhand and tries to kill him.
Yeah.
But Helm Hammerhand shows mercy. Yeah, he was getting folded by Helm Hammerhand. And Hera comes out and says, please, father, spare him. And Hammerhand throws him to the side and says, leave this place before any more blood is spilt.
Yeah.
But Wolf logically should have said, all right, my dad was being a dick and he paid the price for it. That's settled. Like,
I don't think he saw the fight though.
No, he did.
Oh, okay, he did.
But he was in the courthouse, or not the courthouse. He was in the throne room with him. He saw his father being arrogant and talking mad shit and, disrespecting the hall of a king.
Yeah, he didn't even stand up against Hera, and he supposedly loves Hera.
Yeah. So after all that, after your dad willingly invited Helm Hammerhand to a 1v1, he got smoked, got killed, and now you're going to be a little bitch and throw a fit because your dad lost and died?
Yeah, his heart cholesterol couldn't hold it.
He is a big boy.
He is a big boy.
But he throws a bitch fit, attacks Helm Hammerhand, and then Helm Hammerhand shows mercy. He saves Wolf's life only because of Hera, because of their childhood friendship.
Yeah, and he has the little love spot for Hera. That's his daughter.
Yeah. So he saves her life, or he saves his life, spares it, and then he's becoming even more of a little bitch. He says, Helm Hammerhand, I'll come back one day. You will rue this day. You will regret when you killed my father and all this shit. And I'll come back for revenge one day.
You want to killed my father.
Yeah. So he's being ungrateful. It's like,
Yeah.
all right, dude. He's even saying that even though you spared his life, he's going to come back for revenge one day. All right, you should just kill him.
Yeah.
At this point, yeah, kill the son and then be done with it. Because right now he's being ungrateful for you sparing his life. He's vowing to come back and kill, attack your kingdom.
Yeah.
Which is exactly what he does.
Yeah, he does that. And it's kind of pathetic, the reason why he does it too, to be honest.
It is.
It really is. I wish the thing is, like, I get that Peter Jackson couldn't really direct this movie, but I feel like if he directed this movie,
Yeah.
judging by, the elements of the Eden Star necklace was something that he made. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like it would have been better. The one thing I gotta say is that the anime, or this series, is based off of 200 years before The Hobbit.
It's like 180 years, but yeah.
It's 200-ish.
Yeah,
From what I
roughly.
was looking up.
180, 200, roughly.
Yeah, you couldn't put a decade on it because, they don't really talk about that lore date and necessarily.
I think they do, but I'm forgetting too.
Well, when I was looking up, they don't really talk about the date.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But so after this scene, Wolf is a little bitch, runs away. They show a few little flashbacks of them fighting as children, and then you realize Hera accidentally nicked Wolf on the face, and that's how he got his scar.
And he was scared too, and he's like, "Go, Hera."
Yeah.
Because my father would be pissed.
Yeah, my father will punish you if he figures out that you scarred his son.
That's the only scene we see. That's
Yeah.
when they're kids. I wish we seen more, because then I would be like, okay, there's more of a love between them.
There would have been more attachment.
Yeah, I don't feel any attachment.
That's probably another reason why we felt so disassociated from this, is because we get one scene showing their friendship as children, and then he immediately turns evil and we're supposed to relate with him.
And the thing is, like, with that scene, it's not like I care about you. It seems like I'm more terrified of what my father would do.
Yeah.
It's not like I'm going to protect it. I don't like the scene itself.
It's not a good scene.
It really isn't. Like, it would have been nice if he was like, you don't understand what my father would do. I want to keep you safe. But it was more like, just go. My father will be back and he'll be pissed. It was more like just...
Basically, we don't buy the friendship because it's shown very little, and he turns evil way too quick.
It does. It's like my father died and then he's upset. I don't feel any love between it. I want to know why he wants the throne, and you don't really see it why.
Well, he just wants power. It's like what his dad wanted, and now he's like full of vengeance and hatred. And
I want to say if we got more of like scenes back between him and his father and wanting the throne, I would understand.
Yeah.
I don't feel any connection between him and his father either.
Yeah. So there's an untold amount of time that happens.
Yeah.
After this scene, there's a time jump, and we don't know exactly how many years or months it is, but I'm assuming it's like a year or two.
Oh, quite a few, yeah.
Yeah, so and Hera is saying, or I think it's Eowyn at this point, is narrating that it's been a long time since anything has been heard of Wolf and everything.
Yeah.
So he's kind of like a wolf hiding in the shadows. Wolf is a wolf. But he's a menacing threat hiding in the shadows, gathering power, just waiting to strike. But nothing is heard or seen of him for quite a long time.
Yeah.
And so there's a little bit of a time jump. Hera is out in the wilderness, the plains of Rohan, and she's with, I believe, Freylof. Yeah, she's with Freylof, who's like acting like a personal bodyguard, and the little dipshit Leaf.
Yeah, because their father made a rule that you can't go out by yourself anymore because Wolf was out there.
Yes.
Yeah, so she was not allowed. Because before then, she was going out and feeding a giant chicken leg to a big
eagle.
Big eagle. Was it a big eagle?
It was an eagle, yeah.
Yeah, so she was allowed to go before then, but after then, her father did protect her.
Yeah. So Freylof's job is to protect Freya right now, or not Freya, Hera. And they're out in the wilderness of Rohan. Hera inspects a body, and it appears to be like a savage wild man. Either that or a Corsair of Umbar or a Haradrim. It's one of those. And out of the wilderness comes a big ass Oliphant. And
it's a big elephant.
Yeah. So in Lord of the Rings, they're called Oliphants.
Yeah.
With an O.
But they're like an elephant with like 4 tusks, if you can think about that.
Yeah.
As visually.
4 tusks, and they usually have some kind of like battle bards on top of their back and everything. They're pretty ugly. But that elephant attacks. Hera leads it into like a wilderness, like wooded area.
Yeah, she's smart. Yeah.
And she leads it to like the water. I don't know where this is on the map in Lord of the Rings. Like,
yeah.
But the Watcher in the water makes an appearance, like from the Fellowship of the Ring.
Yeah.
The little tentacle fucking squid thing.
Well, because she was like in the background, it was talking about, it's almost like she was listening to a childhood story of the self of this creature that was in the woods.
Yeah.
So she was like smart and remembering things. That's one thing I like about her is that she's incredibly intelligent. She's beautiful and she's strong and she has her beautiful feminine side to it. But when you go into there, it's almost like she's listening to a childhood story about this creature.
Yeah.
She knew exactly where to take it.
Yeah. I don't know exactly where this is on the map, but I don't know how it makes sense in the lore. But yeah, the Watcher in the water from the Fellowship of the Ring, outside the Mines of Moria, that big tentacle thing that they fight, is here. And she leads the Mumakil to it, and they fight each other. The Watcher in the water fucking eats that thing whole.
It does.
It's like, oh, yummy elephant. Oh, just munches on it.
She's just like eating. She's like, she planned that perfectly. And that was the same creature that was where Lord of the Rings, the franchise, where they were at the door, right? And then, was it Frodo?
Frodo got grabbed by that tentacle thing, yeah.
It's the same creature, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what ends up happening is after that encounter with the elephant, Hera kind of is taken off guard by General Targ. And we haven't seen General Targ or Wolf in a long time.
Oh.
So Hera's like, hey, what are you doing here and everything? And General Targ's like, my mission was to bring you in. And they capture her, put a hood over her head, and they take her to Isengard of all places. So at this time, Isengard isn't ruled by Saruman.
No.
It's ruled by Wolf and his gang of like wild men from the south.
Mm-hmm.
So
no creatures of what do they call them?
Orcs.
Orcs. There's no technically orcs there.
No, it's just a bunch of wild men living in Isengard.
Yeah.
And after the events of this film, Isengard is given to Saruman.
Mm-hmm.
But right now, it's just ruled by a bunch of Wolf's merry band of war.
They're like, we're manly men.
Now that we're men. It's like Robin Hood in tights.
Yeah. Like we're going to take from the rich.
Oh my God. Now I'm imagining Wolf is like Robin Hood with his merry band of men.
But he's a horrible, because he goes, okay, so there's like the scene right here where he's going to talk to Hela and he's almost like asking her, why the fuck you not marry me?
He's such a little bitch, dude.
It's all about this marriage.
So Wolf has Hera captured in some little side chamber in Isengard. And he comes to Hera and basically just to gloat.
Yeah.
He's talking a lot of mad shit, be like, I'm about to attack Rohan.
Mm-hmm.
You should have taken my offer to become my bride. And, there's still time and everything. You can become my bride.
It's not much of an offer because the father denied it. It's not like she denied it.
Yeah.
It's like, what offer?
Well, she did deny it. She says, Dad, I don't want anything to do with this. But she didn't get a chance to speak for herself.
No, she didn't. And I think the father knew she didn't want to marry any man. It's not just him. She didn't want to be with anybody, okay?
Yeah, so Wolf is talking mad shit again, saying, hey, I'm about to invade Rohan. All your people are going to die. I will be king and all this stuff. And Hera, I actually like this about Hera. It's one of the few times where I'm like, you're a cool character.
I like her.
Because she is willing to marry him to save her people.
Yeah.
And she's like, if it'll save my people, I will marry you.
Out of pity.
Out of pity. Exactly.
Yeah.
So this is what pisses off Wolf.
He does.
Like, he's like, you can't even stomach the thought of marrying me. You only do it if I threaten to kill your people.
It's like, where are the fucking roses? Where's the love note that you love me, bitch? It's like, he's like, I'm going to show my power and show I'm a strong man. But I think he's forgetting the point. She's a strong lady.
Yeah.
She don't need no strong man. She needs a fucking man, a lover.
The thing I have a problem with that makes Wolf even more of a despicable character is because originally he just wanted the crown.
Exactly.
Or like he just wanted the crown to appease his father.
Yeah.
But now Hera is fully offering you, I will be your bride if you save my people.
Yeah.
And he's disgusted and says no because he doesn't have her heart.
Yeah. That's why I wish they showed more of that childhood things, because it's like I don't I don't have any attachment to Wolf. It makes me just want to vomit.
Right. So Wolf's character is just all over the place.
It
His
really
motivations are fucking very loose. So what ends up happening is Alwyn and Freyloff, they rescue Hera from Isengard.
Yeah.
Alwyn is a badass. She's the old lady with the tiny broken shield.
Oh, I love her. She's so like portrayed so good in this series, even though that I don't have any attachment to these characters.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love her.
Alwyn is one of the good characters in this
Yeah.
movie. She's like one of the last shield maidens.
Mhm.
It's explained that Rohan had shield maidens
Yeah.
back when the enemies of Rohan basically killed all the fighting men,
Mhm.
and all that were left were the women.
Yeah.
So they actually picked up arms and fought against the enemies of Rohan. And Alwyn is like one of the last of the dying breed of the shield maiden.
Yeah, and she doesn't seem like an old lady. She seems very.
She jumps out of a fucking
Yeah.
story building and
She
lands
is
like
like-
it's nothing.
It's almost like she's 30 again. She's just like whatever age,
like-
nothing.
It's like Deadpool, superhero landing, and then Alwyn comes in.
Yeah, because she jumped. Okay, when she was saving her, she jumped out of a building to land on a horse, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, they both did. Her and Hela.
it was fucking savage.
She was like, Hela, go, go. And they were fighting her, and Hela almost hesitant on going. She didn't want to leave her people. And that's things that I love about Hela
Yeah,
is that she doesn't want to leave her people, even though that she has to, because she is the royalty, you know, and without her kingdom and without her, it will fall in disarray into Wolf's hands.
yeah. So what ends up happening is Wolf and his merry band of fucking assholes. They're
Yeah.
chasing Hera back to Rohan,
Mm-hmm.
and word gets back to Helm Hammerhand that the enemies are approaching.
Oh, yeah.
And Hera is like trying to plead with Helm Hammerhand, please let me ride with you into battle.
Yeah.
And Helm Hammerhand, it's very much still like traditional traditions of women stay at home, men go to war.
I mean, that's still Helen Days, though.
Yeah.
Fathers protect their daughters, and I think that's what it was.
But there's an extra layer on top of it.
Yeah.
Helm Hammerhand is also the king.
Yeah.
And he's wanting to protect his daughter.
Mhm.
And also he has two sons who their duty is to like fight and keep, Rohan going.
Yeah.
He's just trying to protect his daughter, and he's being overprotective. And that will go more into like his character development later on
Yeah.
in this film.
Yeah, because he really protects, like, he loves her. It's almost like he loves, the image of her. Maybe it reminds him of his old wife,
Yeah.
because we don't even talk about his wife.
We don't know anything about Helm Hammerhand's wife as far as I know in this film.
And it makes me wonder about that. Like, maybe she is the exact image of her mother.
Yeah. So Helm Hammerhand and like the Royal Guard and maybe a few other people, they ride out to meet the forces of Wolf. It's like a couple hundred, savage men and the Momokil.
Mm.
And we should just mention it right now. I'm a little bothered by the small scale and scope of these fight scenes.
These fight scenes are crap. Like, even with me and you distracted as parents, we absolutely missed nothing. These fight scenes were... And the thing that also bothers me about the anime is that they never really blink and they don't move around much.
Yeah.
It just seems too stiff.
Yeah.
Too stiff.
The animation style is...
Mhm.
All right. So I think we talked about this. The art style is not bad.
Yeah.
Like the way things look, the animation, the movement is horrible.
Oh, yeah. They don't blink. And they don't move when you think that they should. Like,
They're very stiff.
yeah, like, I would love it if, like, she's talking to, like, fucking Wolf and Wolf is asking for marriage. I would love, like, I don't know, a movement of gasp, like she's a fear of him, or that she's standing down to protect herself. I don't see any of that. It just see a blank face.
Yeah. So it turns out Hera is in the stables. She's kind of like a little sad and everything while the battle's going on without her. Lord Thorn, who is like the right-hand man of Helm Hammerhand, was a traitor this whole time.
Yeah.
And tries to attack Hera and tries to kill him
Yeah.
or kill her. And Hera pulls up a pitchfork and impales him, but it lights the barn on fire. It lights the
Yeah.
stable on fire. So it turns out Wolf has a secondary force that's split off and is attacking Edoras directly.
Yeah.
And that causes Helm Hammerhand and his forces to kind of like retreat and fall back to Edoras. Because because they're fighting a war on two fronts pretty much.
Mhm.
But it's hard to get a gist of how the battle is going because, as we said, these battles are so small.
They are, and then just watching it right now, it's not much of a battle. Like I get they're riding on horses, but
It's called the War of the Rohirrim. It
Yeah.
feels like the skirmish of the Rohirrim.
yeah, it really doesn't feel like they did any. Oh, I mean, until the end, they guess they did a pretty good, decent scene of a battle, but it wasn't really anything. It's like this is nothing.
These battle scenes, and this is as good as it gets. Sadly, this
They're
opening
dark,
battle scene.
too.
Yeah, it's Game of Thrones levels of dark. You can't hardly see anything.
Yeah, they hit each other with like arrows and hammers, and the thing is, we're used to watching the Lord of the Rings franchise where they did Helm's Deep, and that was that battle was.
We'll get to that when we talk about this versions of Helm's Deep, but it's bad. Like,
yeah, this is nothing. Like, I don't see any swords being pulled besides arrows and maybe hitting the animals, but there's no physical battles between enemies.
It doesn't feel intimate.
No, it doesn't. There's no like wolf fighting people and with like swords. There's nothing. It's like they're fighting an animal and then they're hitting each other with arrows. There's nothing other than that.
Yeah, they're fighting the Mumakils, which are the big elephants and everything. Yeah. But there's only like 100 or so Rohan soldiers against like 500 wildmen.
Yeah.
It feels so small scale.
Even if with this scene where they're all pulling up with like these swords and they're getting ready, there's nothing. And it's like the only fight scenes is him one hit killing someone.
Yeah. So Haleth, one of the sons of Helm Hammerhand, like the big muscular looking one, he actually has a pretty badass moment. He gets on top of a Mumakil, one of the big elephants, and attacks all the fucking people on top of it.
Mm-hmm.
The archers and shit that are on top of like the, what did I call it? Like a fortification on top of the elephant, like a little, I forget what I called it, but like,
yeah.
On top of these elephants are these war rigs where like 10 or 12 archers are.
Yeah.
Haleth climbs that bitch and has a Legolas moment and kills all the people on the elephant and eventually brings down the elephant too inside Edoras.
I'm gonna watch that tonight with Allie.
Oh.
Or with Rose. Yeah. I'm gonna watch that tonight.
What you gonna watch? Return of the King?
Yeah.
That'd be a good one.
I want to watch that with her. She liked this movie.
But Edoras is burning at this point.
Yeah.
The elephant that Haleth just killed breaks through the gate, and Haleth has a pretty badass moment. Like, he's killed the elephant. He says, "For our people, for Rohan," and then instantly gets an arrow to the fucking neck.
Yeah. It's like he didn't get it from the knee.
I think it was Wolf that shot the arrow, right?
Oh, yeah, I think it is too. I mean, the thing is, like, there's no memorable moments besides the one hit kill that you can't really remember.
Yeah.
That's the only thing is, and I do love Hela as a character. I love her as a woman, and I also love her empowerment, but I wish they added more to her.
Yeah.
It's really sad.
Not a lot of characters get a good character development.
I don't remember any of these characters.
Yeah.
You had to explain it. I don't even remember Hela. I was like, wait, that's her name? I just remember her as this person with red hair.
Yeah, that's her really defining feature is that she has bright red hair.
Yeah, and she's sweet and she's powerful. And we'll get later to my favorite scene of her.
Oh, which one?
The dress.
Oh, okay.
I love that.
At the end of the film. Okay.
I love that moment.
So this kind of pisses me off. So Edoras is lost at this point, right? The walls are breached. Helm Hammerhand has ordered the full retreat. He's just lost one of his sons. And the other son, Hama, his horse gets tired retreating.
Yeah. He's like,
his horse gets tired.
I'm tired.
Meanwhile, no one else thought to look behind and say, oh shit, fucking Hama is struggling behind us. We should go back and help him out.
We need to talk to the writers about this.
This is so bad.
This is.
So Wolf and
horrible.
General Targ and like 2 other people are chasing Hama.
Yeah.
It's not a lot of people.
No.
The fucking royal guard that were following Helm Hammerhand and Hera, there was like at least 20 of them.
Yeah.
They could have easily taken Wolf and those 4 people that capture Hama in this scene.
Yeah, this scene is awful. Plus, horses have a huge amount of stamina, so this makes no sense. It seems like they just needed to get rid of him, so they wanted...
It was contrived.
Yeah, they're like, okay, we need to get rid of him. How do we do it? Let's sit in the writer's room. All right, let's say the horse gets
The horse gets tired.
Yeah.
It's
which
like the
is
equivalent of a car getting a flat out of
fucking
nowhere.
stupid because horses have a stupid because horses have a huge amount of stamina, especially horses that are well kept in this age of era.
Well, also, Rohan is the place of the horse lords.
Yeah, they have horses on their shield and they have horses on their... He even has a horse on his fucking cape.
Everything is horse themed. Yeah. They're the horse lords. Yeah. And you're telling me this horse for the Prince of Rohan got fucking tired.
This horse is 100 years old.
It's not like they gave fucking the Prince of Rohan an old ass steer that's barely fucking holding on to life.
They did. They give that horse chocolate, and he was just like his cholesterol. He couldn't have it.
But yeah, so Hama goes out like a bitch. You don't even get to see him fight.
No, you don't. And that's like, I don't see any fighting scenes. You don't see any fighting scenes. You see a fucking elephant get hit one time with an axe.
Yeah.
And then you see them pull their bows. Nothing. No fighting scenes or whatever. And I want to know the reasons why, because it makes me visibly upset.
Yeah. So what ends up happening is Hama gets captured. All of the rest of the people that fled Edoras now take refuge in Helm's Deep. Or it's not called Helm's Deep at this point.
It's not.
I forget what it's called.
I can look it up.
Yeah, thank you. It's called something else right now. After the events of this movie, it becomes known as Helm's Deep. I think it's called Dunharrow.
I remember what it's called, but I just want to double check it.
So they take refuge in this fortress of Rohan, Helm's Deep, and Wolf comes out to the gates of Helm's Deep. I'm just going to keep calling it Helm's Deep. And they have Hama captured. And Helm Hammerhand, dude, you got to respect it. Like, he's the king, and he's got the Hornburg. Mm-hmm. Okay, it was known as the Hornburg.
Yeah.
Helm Hammerhand, you gotta respect it, man. He's already lost one of his sons. He's lost a good amount of his people.
Yeah.
He's willing to surrender right then and there.
Mm-hmm. He cares about his people.
This is another reason why I hate Wolf.
I fucking hate Wolf.
So Wolf has Hama captured outside the gates of this fortress of Helm's Deep.
Oh no, I hate this scene.
Yes.
I really do.
So after they capture him off screen, might I add you don't even get to see him fight.
No, you don't.
They capture him and display him, and he's got a knife to his throat.
Yeah.
Helm Hammerhand says, "You've won, Wolf. I surrender. You've already killed one of my sons. You've defeated me. I surrender. Take me, and you will have Rohan. You will have your kingdom. Just give me my son back."
Yeah.
Wolf literally has everything right now.
Yeah.
He won. He could have everything. He can have the kingdom of Rohan.
He can marry the bitch.
He can marry Hera if he wants to.
She's not a bitch, by the way.
And yet, he is so stupid. He is so consumed by vengeance and being a little petty bitch.
Yeah.
He kills Hama when he had everything. And even General Targ, his right-hand man, says, dude, don't do this. Don't kill him. We have everything. If you kill him, they're just going to hunker down in Helm's Deep and we'll never get them out.
He would even came out and have his own head put on a platter for his own kid.
Right.
Because I feel like the love he has for his children is very strong.
So that's his love for his children. He's willing to surrender.
His children, and it's so sad because I remember looking at you and I was saying, "Oh my God, this is a Walking Dead moment. This is just like Herschel."
It is. It's exactly like Herschel.
I was like, "This isn't going to end good." It made me emotional only because I remember how the emotion I felt for Walking Dead, even though that I feel no emotion towards this character.
You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
It's a lot like season 3 of The Walking Dead, where they're at the prison and the governor shows up with a force.
Spoiler.
And it's like fucking 10 years old now. But the governor shows up with a force and is ready to take the prison.
Yeah, and I remember Rick was like, "We'll give you anything you want. Just leave Herschel alone."
Well, Rick was saying we could live together.
Yes.
Let's find a peaceful resolution to this.
And then the governor's like, "Whatever."
Yeah, the governor being a petty bitch, even though there is a clear route to peace.
Yeah.
You take the path of pettiness and little bitchness.
And his people were saying the same thing, just like the other guy. We're like, "Hey, this is our out. Let's do it."
That's what General Targ was saying.
Yeah,
oh, no, my finger went right in your camera.
Quit fingering me.
But that's what General Targ was saying.
Yeah.
He was saying, "Wolf, stop this right now.
Yeah.
You've won. Don't kill the son. Take Helm Hammerhand as prisoner, and you've won. You have it all."
What
But
is
no.
attachment over his fucking father? I want to know.
Whose?
Wolf is like, he's so attached to his goddamn father. He wants to kill everybody. And I want to know more of that story.
Yeah, we don't
get nothing.
We can't buy that
No.
because they died way too quick.
And it seems like he was more scared of his father because that one scene we got. Like, what love?
We never got to see how close they were, if at all.
Because at least with The Walking Dead, you know, going off of off points, he loved his little daughter that was a zombie.
I would buy this a lot more if we saw flashbacks or more scenes of Wolf and Freka being like a close fatherly son bond.
Exactly. There's nothing. There's
nothing for us to grasp onto.
No.
To justify Wolf's fucking arrogance.
We're hating this film too much.
Yes. So let's get past this. So Wolf does the exact same thing as the governor in The Walking Dead. He kills Herschel, or in this version, he kills Hama.
No.
And now, congratulations. Everyone else goes in the Fortress of Helm's Deep. And just like General Targ said, now you're going to have to build a big ass fucking siege tower to get them out.
Yeah.
So what ends up happening is the people of Rohan, they go back into the Helm's Deep. And now it becomes a siege battle, right? But there's no clear way to break down like the gates of Helm's Deep. It's known to be impenetrable.
Yeah.
This is so fucking stupid. We've talked about this. So we should mention this too. Wolf goes back to Edoras.
Yeah.
It's all burned down now and everything. And he has the crown of Rohan. And he's like, does it look good on me? Did I earn it? He goes back to Rohan, puts the crown on, and he says, assemble the lords of Rohan. They're meant to swear fealty to me now. But we go back to Helm's Deep, and this is where we're introduced to old Penacrux. I think I'm saying that right.
I hardly know her.
The old lady.
Yeah.
We're just going to call her the old lady.
I hardly fucking know her. Sorry.
She's like the caretaker of Helm's Deep.
But like, I don't feel any attachment to her or whatever.
No, she's just an old lady.
Yeah.
She's the caretaker of Helm's Deep.
I thought she was a witch.
I know. She kind of has that witchy nose. Like
she's like, I want the fucking thing so I could like burn it and sacrifice it.
Oh, the little flute or whatever, the loom.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, but go on.
So the situation at Helm's Deep is dire because every messenger bird they send out to get help from other people of Rohan keeps getting shot down. So there's no help coming.
No.
Meanwhile, they can't leave to go hunt for food or anything because the forces are right outside the door.
Yeah.
They have a limited supply of, wood and other burnable consumables to keep themselves warm.
Yeah.
They have limited food. So this winter is going to be especially harsh.
Yeah.
Not just on the people inside the fortress, but also on the people outside. That's why General Targ was saying, Wolf, we can't survive here during the wintertime. Yeah. We're gonna lose half of our men laying down a siege to this castle. And that's another reason why Wolf is a fucking idiot.
I hate Wolf.
But anyway, so what ends up happening is Helm Hammerhand, out of grief for both of his sons, he goes into the Odin sleep.
Yeah, he's like, I need to power up. Dragon Ball Z type of thing. Whatever they do. I've never watched Dragon Ball Z. Someone's gonna correct me.
I know. So Helm Hammerhand, there's a siege that lays on this castle for, I want to say, months.
Yeah.
Which makes no sense because if your food stores were that low, everyone in the castle would have starved by now. But anyway,
cannibalism happening.
There probably was cannibalism.
You never know.
But
they were eating the horses and shit because that horse was pathetic anyways.
Yeah.
Gasping for air.
So what happens is Helm Hammerhand goes into a weird sleep state because of his grief. But at nighttime, I guess there's a secret passage outside the king's chamber. And at nighttime, he goes out and picks off the soldiers of Wolf's army one by one. And he ends up becoming known as the ghost of Rohan or whatever.
Oh, I love this part of him. I really fucking love this part.
This is one of the cool things. As much as this movie, we have problems with it. And it's kind of boring in some aspects.
It's a good watch for one time.
It's a good one-time watch.
Yeah, I would watch it just one time.
I'm a huge Lord of the Rings fan. Melanie is a pretty big fan, in her own way.
My wedding was off of Lord of the Rings.
And I can say right now, this isn't a bad film.
Yeah.
It's just mostly boring.
It really is. The thing is, you introduced me to Lord of the Rings, and I love Lord of the Rings. I actually will physically look up stuff. Like, remember when I was looking up what Merry and Pippin were drinking, that orc juice? I love Lord of the Rings. I love it, but this really is just pathetic, and I get it that we need it. We really do. So I really suggest people watching it, because if we want more Lord of the Rings, we need to get past this shit so we can get good shit.
Let's put a scale on it. It's better than Rings of Power.
Yeah, it really is better,
but not
than
by
Rings.
much.
I will still watch Rings of the Power because I love Lord of the Rings. I will still watch it. And I want to say one of my favorite podcasts, Mile Higher.
Mile Higher?
Yeah, I love them. I do have a speech impediment. I do have dyslexia, so just bear with me. They actually love Lord of the Rings.
Oh, really?
Nice how they always talk about Lord of the Rings, and it makes me think of so much of you. It's a great series. It really is. It's not just a beautiful love story. It's a beautiful friendship. It's a beautiful but this is pathetic.
Yeah.
For our fans.
So what ends up happening is Helm Hammerhand goes out at nighttime and starts picking off the soldiers one by one.
I love him.
And he becomes known as like the Wraith of Rohan or whatever.
He's super sexy.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, he is. But Hera goes to try to find her father. Yeah. He's like, Dad, where did you go and everything?
Well, because she woke up and he wasn't there.
Yeah.
And she's been sleeping by his bedside.
Yes. So she tries to find him and ends up accessing like a secret door.
Yeah.
And this takes Hera outside of the castle walls. And this is where she gets attacked. This is the only time in the film we see orcs.
Only time, which I feel like we should have seen more.
Well,
but
a little bit more.
It's 200 years before Lord of the Rings, but I feel like we should have seen more fucking more.
So
I'm just getting a little hyped up right here, boys.
There's a little bit to talk about here.
Yeah.
We find 2 orcs, and they're finding and scavenging rings off the battlefield.
They're disgusting, but they are talking about rings a lot.
So this is... I have problems with this scene.
I do.
Because it's shoehorned in just to make you remember, hey, this is still Lord of the Rings.
It is, yeah.
Get it? The orcs are looking for rings.
I fucking felt that.
It's still Lord of the Rings,
because
you know.
the dialogue meant nothing to me.
This scene with the 2 orcs scavenging rings off the battlefield, and they're saying, what does Mordor want with rings anyway?
Yeah, and if you were watching this without even knowing Lord of the Rings, like say, for instance, my mom, you'd be like, what?
This scene is so out of place.
It really is.
It has no bearing on the story that you're wanting to tell in this movie.
Yeah.
Other than to remind people, rings of power, you know, the one ring to rule them all.
It's called Lord of the Rings.
Oh my God. Holy shit. It's
like,
it felt like a Marvel Easter egg.
It really did. And I'm not like trying to interrupt you, but isn't it sad that it's the only true battle scene we ever get?
Well, the only true battle scene we ever get is the one that we just saw with the fucking horses.
Well, I want to see him smashing the fucking guys with the rock.
Oh, you mean like a one-on-one fight scene, like intimate fight scene?
Yeah, this is sad.
Well, he does have his last stand later on in the film, which is kind of cool.
But still, you watch. Okay, we're halfway through this movie. Are we halfway through this movie?
Pretty much, yeah.
And you barely get the same.
We're over halfway through this film.
Halfway through this movie, and you barely get the same.
Yeah, we've summarized a lot. We're not going to go scene by scene of this fucking movie.
No, if you go by scene, it would be disgusting.
We'll be here every fucking...
One of us will be fighting over each other, because me and my husband have a lot of... I keep interrupting.
Oh, no, you're fine. So what ends up happening is Hera is about to be captured by the orcs.
Yeah.
About to be killed by the orcs, and then Helm Hammerhand shows up. Like a Skyrim Nord.
She's like, you smell my daughter.
He's like,
that's my kid.
Helm Hammerhand. It's a little cartoonish.
It is.
And a little fucking outlandish.
It is.
But Helm, it's pretty great.
It is.
I will admit, as outlandish as this scene is, it's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Helm Hammerhand 1v1s these 2 orcs.
With the fucking, what was it, brick, rock? I don't know. He picked something and he just smash.
Yeah, he picks up a big boulder, smashes one of their heads in. And there's a cave troll there. I believe it's a cave troll.
Yeah.
But it's a weird big ass orc looking thing with horns on its head.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly what it is.
But it smelt her.
Yeah.
Isn't it? Okay, I gotta say, I'm not trying to interrupt you. Isn't it weird that it smelt her and not him?
Yeah. Well, maybe he's been out in the wilderness for too long. He's become feral.
Maybe, because it smelt her instantly. It's
yeah.
smell it, virgin.
Oh my Jesus. But Helm Hammerhand beats the brakes off of this cave troll.
Yeah, he does.
He fucking punches one of the horns off like he's Kratos from God of War.
I love how strong he is.
He's outlandishly strong.
He's so
he is
fucking
1v1ing a fucking cave troll that's 3 times his size. And he's like going fucking Kratos God mode on this fucking thing.
He's so fucking sexy. I love him. He's like, boom.
But he kills the cave troll.
Yeah.
And he has a nice little one-on-one. This is his redemption for... He doesn't get a lot of character development in this movie, but Helm Hammerhand has this awakening like, Hera, I've been too hard on you. I didn't want to acknowledge it, but you're just as strong and like a better leader than I ever could be.
Yeah, he's like, you're not just a lady. I want to make you kind of a leader.
Yeah. Like, I should have seen it before. You can take care of yourself. You don't need me to protect you.
Yeah. And she's always like kind of proven that from the beginning, and her father intervenes. She's like, I don't want to marry him. And he's like, her father intervenes like, you're not going to marry my fucking daughter.
Yeah. Kind of like, I will protect for you.
She didn't get to say why she don't want to marry.
Yeah.
I don't think she wants to marry any guy. I really don't. Like, I think she just wants to be focusing on her people.
No,
which is fine.
Hera doesn't have any romantic interest in anybody in this film.
No, and if
which is fine.
Yeah, and that's fine. If she does, she does. If she doesn't, she doesn't. But I don't think she cares so much about her people that she doesn't see the interest in marrying anybody for love.
So this scene is so fucking stupid. There's a lot of stupid scenes that like don't make sense logically in this film. This is the worst one.
This really is.
So Helm Hammerhand and Hera get to the gates of Helm's Deep.
Yeah.
The forces of Wolf are chasing them. It's a big ass blizzard.
Oh.
They're right on their ass, and they get to the front door. Helm Hammerhand rips the fucking front door open just enough for Hera to get through.
Yeah.
But there's still plenty of time. There's about a good 5 minutes of time left that Helm Hammerhand uses that 5 minutes to say a long-winded goodbye to Hera and then closes the fucking door.
It's almost like he wanted to have like some sort of weird suicide because he misses his kids.
Yeah, like he just wanted to go out in a blaze of glory.
Yeah.
He could have easily pried that door open just a little bit more so he can get through.
And I remember telling you, I was like, where the fuck are his people?
There should be archers on the fucking wall.
Are his people. Like, where the hell? Okay, because it's not just citizens at this point. They didn't really lose a lot of, like, you know, knights, archers, whatever, in that one scene. So where the fuck are they?
Exactly. Admittedly, there is a blizzard going on.
Yeah.
But right above the gate, even in the Lord of the Rings, the Two Towers, there are archers on that wall.
It was raining in Helm's Deep, and they still had archers going.
Yeah.
Like, whatever.
There should have.
Fucking no.
This is your fucking king.
Yes.
I admit there's only like a handful of soldiers left here at Helm's Deep.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's not to the scale of the Peter Jackson films of the Two Towers.
Yeah.
It's not to that scale of soldiers defending the castle.
Oh, I wish Peter Jackson, like, fucking directed this movie.
There's only, and it's so hard to tell because they don't show you exact numbers. It's hard to get a scope for how many people are in this film, like fighting. I want to say there's maybe 24 soldiers, like 24 soldiers at most.
It feels like 5.
It feels so small.
It feels like whatever. This is nothing.
But even then, this is your fucking king.
Mm.
Those 5 soldiers should have been above the fucking gate, throwing spears, shooting arrows.
There's Wolf just back there like, I'm just going to watch.
Yeah.
Like, where's my popcorn?
Yeah, so Wolf is trying to traverse the blizzard. General Targ is saying, come back, you'll freeze to death, my lord. And Helm Hammerhand stupidly closes the door, and he's like, all right, motherfuckers, the Henry Cavill, chun, chun, reloading the arms. He's like, I will 1v1 all of you fuckers.
Because this is stupid. Because I know he wanted to protect his kid, but this doesn't feel like a protection of your kid. This feels like more like vengeance.
It's a stupid sacrifice.
It really is. It's so stupid.
You gave your life for nothing.
I wanted like more of a dialogue to understand why he did this. That would have made more sense, but it felt like he just did this because he's like, you don't even feel it.
They could have filmed this better.
They could have said he's doing this because he misses his kids. Whatever.
They could have shown like, oh shit, the soldiers are actually a lot closer than you thought.
Yeah.
Like maybe there was only enough time to get Hera through, but you spent like 5 minutes saying a long goodbye. There was easily enough time you could have.
There was. And where was his people? They could have said the reason. He probably told his people to back off. I would have loved that. He said,
It's like,
listen,
don't fight back. Let me handle this.
because they would have listened to him because he is the king or whatever. He
Yeah,
rules the company.
It's stupid. Like, the cinematography is very bad, and the
Yeah.
battle. Like, I
It's
get
so
it's an
sad.
animated film, but the battle choreography, like, there's no excuse.
No,
But this is a little cartoonish.
I love it.
So the next morning, it turns out that everybody froze to death, and Helm Hammerhand is dead,
yeah.
and he froze to death in place, like with his battle hammer in place, like it's a Looney Tunes cartoon.
Yeah, he even has the face of everything, like he was about to struck some bitch.
But here's the thing, continuity error. Where did he get his fucking hammer?
The thing that also pisses me off is like Wolf didn't even stand out there to go fight him. He was like,
He's like, I'm just gonna back up
Yeah.
a little bit. I'm out. I'm out. You guys do
like,
this.
you killed my dad. I can't.
Yeah, here's a perfect opportunity to get vengeance and kill your father's killer.
Yeah, he's weak. Like, okay, like at this point, he's almost frozen to death. You could have jumped in. Where the fuck is Wolf? Besides just sending his people out there, I really don't like Wolf as a character.
So a lot of nonsense happens for like the next 15 minutes. I'll just summarize. So after Helm Hammerhand dies, there's more of the same, right? Hera is trying to find a way to send a message out to the other lords of Rohan that are still loyal to the king.
Yeah.
And get reinforcements to Helm's Deep.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Wolf, the little bitch boy's son, is building a cartoonishly large siege tower.
Yeah.
It's so stupid. It's
really
beyond parody.
And also the part that, not trying to interrupt you, the part that bothers me is that Rohan had a lot of people who were archers and fighters. Where the fuck did they go?
I know.
They didn't fight him during that scene. He fought alone.
That's another problem I have with this movie. The fight, it's called the War of the Rohirrim. Not the fucking small little skirmish of the Rohirrim.
Where did they go? Because it seems like at this scene, there's just like the civilians with like mothers and children.
Yeah, it's mostly civilians with like 10 soldiers.
No one fought with him. So I want to know.
It's bad. Yeah. So it makes no sense when you compare it to like the two towers, which is basically the same fucking scenario.
I don't understand it. I really don't. And it pisses me off. Like, I love this movie. I really do.
You basically did the exact same thing as the two towers, but worse.
My daughter loved this movie and it's just pathetic.
Yeah. So anyway, what ends up happening is Hera is going to lead the remaining soldiers, or like the remaining few soldiers, and have them guide out the refugees outside of the tunnels. The caves system that, Helm's Deep has. They'll go into the mountains and everything. Hera is going to go appease like one of the eagles that we saw earlier in this film.
Big ass eagles, because she said something about like, I know you can understand my language, because that is what the folklore is.
Yeah.
And then you don't get to hear what she says to them. The eagles, but she said something that really empowered the eagle.
She said, my people are dying, you're the only one that can help me. Please help me, and then I don't know if it's Gwahir, the Lord of the Eagles, or just a random eagle, but the eagle agrees and carries a message for Hera. It's like a big ass trunk, or it's like
she fed them since the beginning, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, so she had some sort of connection, and I wonder if that's something to do with her mother, because the other siblings are not doing that.
Maybe her mother had some kind of relationship with the
I want to know her mother, because like the thing is, we don't know anything about her mother. And her other siblings, her other brothers are not doing it. And mothers are more attached to their mothers, judging by the fact that me and my daughter are very attached to each other. So daughters do something with daughters. And I grew up with 4 brothers, and my 4 brothers also follow their father. So it's like,
So Hera is able to get a message out with the help of one of the eagles.
Yeah.
And then goes back to the castle. Meanwhile, there's a few defenders left at the castle, but not many.
Oh,
most of the people here, I'll just pause it so we can talk about it in a second.
Yeah, I love the scene.
But most of the people of Rohan in Helm's Deep have fled and gone through the tunnels, right? So Hera, it was mentioned once before, but there's this dress in Helm's Deep that was meant to like be the bridesmaid, or like a bride's dress for a royal wedding.
Well, we're living in medieval times. They prepare for that.
Yeah.
They do. And they were preparing for her wedding.
Basically, as a big ass fuck you to Wolf, she puts on a wedding dress and goes out on a horse. The siege tower, this comically large siege tower, falls on the wall, which when you look at it, that much force of something coming down that's 10 stories tall and falling down straight down.
There was a guy on top too.
There was a guy. He was like Mad Max. He's like, dun 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 dun. He's like, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit. Why was he still up there?
I don't know.
He just sacrificed his life for nothing.
Okay, these are just people too. They're not orcs.
So he's like, dun 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 dun. It's like Mad Max Fury Road.
No.
When the guy that's playing the guitar on the fucking war rig.
Yeah.
He was like that on top of the tower. He's playing the drums and everything.
Yeah.
And the tower goes down. He's on the tippy top. Yeah. And he fucking dies. Why?
I don't
That was
understand.
so pointless.
I don't.
But even then, this comically large siege tower slamming down, it's made out of wood. That thing should have fucking crumbled underneath the force.
And slightly rope.
Yeah, wood and rope.
This
thing should have fucking split into a million pieces when it fucking hit that wall at Mach 10 speeds. But whatever. It's stupid.
I get we're in medieval times, but that's really dumb.
Yeah, and I know we're in a cartoon and everything, but it just bugs me.
It does.
So this siege tower falls down. It makes a bridge. Hera rides her horse on the fucking... rides on the horse with the wedding dress on as a big fuck you to Wolf. He'd be like, hey, you can't have this. You can't have this.
Well, okay, the thing is I love about her is that when Wolf asked her, I'm like, so is this a proposal? She's like, I'm married. No man.
Yeah.
No man.
You dare wear that wedding dress?
I would only wear this and I'm going to marry death. So she is either marrying her own death or his death.
Yeah.
Because she says, I marry death. So she knows that we're going to fight to the death.
Did she say that?
She did. She says, I marry death.
Oh, I can't remember that.
Yeah. She was Allie was kind of in her face. Oh. But the thing is, like, she wears that. She's like, I'm not going to marry you. Fuck no. We're going to marry each other's death.
So Hera goes down the fucking, the siege tower, bridge, whatever you want to call it now, and her and Wolf now get into a fight.
He's mad.
And Wolf gets bodied by Hera.
It's gonna happen.
So they have a fight on cavalry. They end up on foot eventually.
Yeah.
Hera is a really good fighter.
Well, the only good fucking fighting scene we get. Well, this is the only time we get to see swords on swords and shields on shields.
I forgot to mention this. Hera challenges his Wolf to a 1v1 and says, hey, if I win, you let my people go.
Yeah.
If you win, you can kill all of us, whatever the fuck.
I marry death.
Yeah. So they fight, and Wolf says, I accept your challenge.
Bitch.
Hera wins.
Yeah, she does.
Wolf walks away, and as if he couldn't become any more of a little bitch, he sends his soldiers after he was already bested in combat. He doesn't keep his word. He sent his soldiers up the ramp to kill everyone that's left in Helm's Deep.
She had a sword to his throat. She didn't stab him, but she's like, you know what? This sword is through your throat. I can stab you at any fucking moment. I won this battle. I won.
She won fair and square.
She won. But she didn't stab him. So he's like, you know what? I'm going to fucking...
As if he couldn't become any more of a little whiny, cowardly bitch.
Yeah.
He proves me wrong. And he goes back on his word. And then General Targ, who has been the voice of reason this whole time for Wolf.
Yeah.
General Targ, all he's saying is Wolf gives General Targ like attack. Everybody attack. And General Targ is like, no. Your son, your father would be disappointed in you. No,
I'm disappointed.
You're a disappointment. You're a fucking coward. I'm not going to follow you. And Wolf pulls out a dagger and kills General Targ.
Yeah, he does. In the most pathetic fucking way ever. He is like, he didn't even know he pulled out a dagger. He just does it close on combat. Yeah. Like nothing.
The only way Wolf can win in a 1v1 is to be deceitful and cowardly.
Yeah,
pulling daggers and shit.
Like Wolf, and I wish that there was more scenes. But even this like old lady that's fighting everybody and this.
Yeah, so we have a cool scene where Olwen's holding down the bridge after Hera. She's pretty fucking badass.
I love her.
And the only time we get to see a few of the Rohan archers is when a few of them scuttle through the bridge.
At the end of the movie.
It's at the end of the movie. We see like 3 Rohan archers and that's it.
That's it. That's fucking it. It's It's kind of sad.
That's the War of the Rohirrim. Are you fucking shitting me?
And this whole movie is called War of the Rohirrim. I'm glad we didn't watch this for your birthday.
I know. I would have been so pissed.
Yeah. And I'm glad we bought it because we actually took breaks from this movie to because we couldn't watch this full on. But it's just it's so sad.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna clarify before we can continue. Please watch the movie. Please just support it because we do want more Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, as much as I hate to say it,
I'm going to warn you guys. It is pretty brutal, but you're also learning.
Rent it. It's a rent movie. We bought it because we knew we would cover it for the podcast.
Yeah.
But honestly, even if you're a huge Lord of the Rings fan, rent this movie.
You're going to be disappointed. But there's also, I want to say there's good moments. Like her wearing the wedding dress and just saying, I'm going to fucking marry death. Stuff like that. That's not even a tip of the whatever it's called. Iceberg. We want to support Lord of the Rings. We want more Lord of the Rings. We don't want the Amazon version of Lord of the Rings. I like the Amazon version, but I'm also I'm not a huge fan of it.
Helm Hammerhand is the other saving grace of this film.
It is. We do want to support it. We have to support it because if we do want more Lord of the Rings, and Lord of the Rings could be just a franchise that we never see again. We have to support this, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But it's a good watch. It's just a one-time watch.
So this is another problem. And I mentioned this when we were watching it too. How the siege tower makes no fucking sense.
It makes no sense.
So the siege tower, oh, you're good, comes crashing down. Yeah. And immediately my first thought is just burn the fucker down. And what happens? A few of the Rohan soldiers, the 3 that are left, throw a firebomb on that bitch and light it on fire. Immediately, okay, maybe 5 or 10 of the fucking barbarians got through.
Well, as soon as you saw the tower, you were just visibly upset and telling me about it. The first moment you saw it, I'm like, oh boy.
So it logically does not make sense.
It doesn't. I'm
sorry.
Where
did you get that much wood?
No.
Even then, if fucking coming down like that, you just make ladders at that point.
You knew it wasn't it wasn't even protected. There was no fucking people over there protecting it.
So what happens is exactly what I thought would happen. Mm-hmm. And it actually made me a little holy shit, they did something that makes sense.
Yeah.
And it makes this whole fucking siege tower pointless and irrelevant. The soldiers of Rohan throw a firebomb on that bitch and it lights the whole thing on fire.
Yeah.
So you're telling me that you spent months building this big ass cartoonishly large siege tower. You throw it down and immediately some Rohan soldiers light that bitch on fire. So even if you lost the battle and everything, just lighting that thing on fire and letting it burn for 10 minutes, your army can't get through.
Yeah.
So realistically, Hera would have won anyway if you just hold the line for a few minutes and burn that fucker down. It makes no sense.
Hera's gonna win no matter what because she thinks more logical and strategic than...
Yeah.
Wolf is just going off of emotion, and it's not even logical.
It just compounds onto why the siege tower is such a bad fucking design of a fucking plot device.
That she's wearing a wedding dress, though. That's so empowerment.
So Hera and Wolf fight a second time, right? And luckily, it's kind of and light on the 5th day at dawn, look to the east. The eagle shows up, and it shows the remainder of the Rohan forces. The cousin Freylof is wearing the helm of Helm Hammerhand, and it causes fear in the forces of Wolf's forces.
Before that happened, she had grabbed what's the guy named the person I call Sam? You can read that. Leaf. She grabs Leaf, and they were grabbing the armor, and he was asking why this is important. She says, "Oh yeah. It's for hope." The helmet. It was for hope. The helmet of Helm Hammerhand. She planned this battle so strategically. Because Helm Hammerhand was known as the Revenant and killing people at night, he became a folk tale, a horror story. She knew. She planned this entire battle. Wolf just went off emotion. She planned this to the fucking tell. Yeah, even though Helm Hammerhand is dead, because Freylof is wearing the helm pathetic bitch. Of Helm Hammerhand, it promotes fear in the forces of Wolf. They all start retreating immediately. Yeah. And, the forces are getting run down by Freylof's forces. It looks like victory is near. Wolf's forces are all retreating. They're backing the fuck out. And Hera says, "You're defeated, Wolf. There's nothing you can do." Exactly. And immediately, what are you gonna do? And this, dude,
when you think Wolf's done being a little bitch, he surprises you one more time.
He's like,
He drops to his knees and pretends like he's surrendering again. And then what does he do? Like he throws a dagger, I think?
well, the thing is, I kept connecting. It's like, did he stab her? Did he stab her?
Yeah, I think he throws one of his daggers at her. Or he charges her with his dagger. And you think that she got stabbed, but no, luckily she held it in place. And fuck, man, they're fighting for the third time now that he's pretended to surrender. He's lost multiple times. And eventually Hera has had enough.
Yeah.
And she grabs one of the shields, and the shield is like it's kind of like jagged edged. So there's a sharp point on it.
Well, because she mentioned something during the film, which I'm going to briefly talk about, that her father, Hal Hammered, she was talking about to the daughter, Hela, said that she cannot get a new shield because that is an empowerment moment and this shield represents you. So she has a shield that's like over 100 years old.
Yeah, it's an old ass shield with many scars and many dents.
Because that shield represents her.
And she uses the shield to kill Wolf. She holds Wolf down and with the jagged side of the shield, like drives it into his fucking neck.
I love that.
Wolf finally dies.
Well, she killed him with the shield. She could have killed him. Well, the thing is, I want to know is it looked like in this one of those scenes that she stabbed him. It wasn't directed very properly because it could have been anything. Did he stab himself? Did he stab her? I don't understand that. I don't. And I've tried to rewatch that scene when you were sleeping one time. And I feel like they misplaced that scene. Like it was supposed to not be in the movie.
Yeah.
It doesn't look right. But I'm glad she stopped, like, kind of choked him hold with the shield. She's like...
So, Hera finally kills Wolf.
Yeah.
The little bitch-ass, punk-ass, soy boy fucking bitch dies.
She gave him opportunities, okay? She gave him opportunities.
Multiple times.
She gave it 3, 4, 5, 6. I don't fucking care.
Multiple times, Hera tries to appeal to him to try to calm him down, to try to get him to stand down.
She has a good heart. I love that.
He's beaten also multiple times. Mm-hmm. And the only way he could like win is by like pulling daggers and shit and stabbing you in the back.
Yeah.
He's such a little bitch ass character.
He really is. And I want to know more about his father.
He's just a poorly written character. Wolf is a poorly written character.
I felt nothing.
He's a poor villain antagonist to this movie. I would have much rather had the father.
No,
honestly.
I would have. And the thing is like pronounced Wolf with W-U...
W-U-L-F.
What is that supposed to...
Wolf.
Yeah, it doesn't... I guess that's supposed to be different. I don't understand.
After the Battle of Helm's Deep, obviously the Rohan is victorious. Freylof being the only male heir to the throne. Obviously Hera is like the next in line. Mm-hmm. But Freylof is a man... the way it was back then is like if there's a male heir, they're going to use that first.
Well, he also offered it to her. She doesn't.
Yeah, Hera doesn't want the throne.
No, and the thing is, okay, wait. Let's go back a little. Okay, so when the battle ends and Wolf is dead, she looks to her cousin and she says, "Give mercy."
Yeah.
That was her last action
as a leader.
As empowerment. She said,
that's true.
Give mercy. That was her last words as and she doesn't want it. She doesn't want it because
she doesn't want bloodshed.
She doesn't.
She just wants peace.
She wants peace and it's not for her. And I understand that. But that was her last moment. I want to say that is so significant for her as a character.
Freylof, the cousin of Rohan, shows up with like the reinforcements and they're murking the forces of Wolf.
Yeah, he's like ready. I'm like, let's go. Fight.
Yeah, they would have killed every single one of them. But like you said, Hera says, show them mercy.
He changed his face expression too.
Yeah, show them mercy. Mm-hmm. Enough blood has been spilt this day. Yeah. And that's when Freylof blows the horn and recalls the troops and everything.
Yeah.
So Hera is a merciful leader. Yeah. But like you said, she doesn't want the throne. She just wanted...
She doesn't want more.
She just wanted safety for her people.
She didn't want this wedding. This whole thing's about a wedding. She was going to accept it for mercy.
So a small time jump happens. We don't know. Probably a few weeks. But they go back to Edoras. They've begun the process of rebuilding. Hera is no longer going to be like part of the royal family of
No.
Edoras. She's going to go out and do her own thing.
Yeah. And they were in the stables talking about this, and he
Yeah.
offered it to her again, and she said it's not for me.
Yeah, Freylof said, hey, like, are you sure you want
Yeah.
this? Like, the crown is yours if you want it. And Hera says, no, like, I don't want any part of that. Well, I hope you will still be part of Rohan if I ever call upon you.
Because he said you were a great leader, and she's like,
Yeah.
not for me.
Like, deuces, I want to go out and find myself.
No, she's like, I may be a great leader, but it's not for me, bro.
Yeah. So Freylof becomes the new king of Rohan. Hera goes out on her own adventure. Alwyn, the badass grandma shield maiden, volunteers to join Hera on her adventures.
Yeah.
And here's another problem I have.
Oh, no.
This is another, it's like the rings when we were talking about the orcs.
Yeah.
How it's just shoehorned in to remind you, hey, this is still Lord of the Rings, right?
Like,
it's still Lord of the Rings.
We're gonna just
slide
that in.
This scene makes no sense in the grander scheme of the story they're trying to tell.
Yeah.
So Alwyn is saying, where will we go? Well, I have questions to ask, Hera says, about the orcs that were looking for the rings. I know of a wizard that might be able to help. And then Alwyn says, what's this wizard's name? He has many names. But in the common tongue, he's known as Gandalf. I'm like, are you fucking
I remember.
God damn it. Stop it. It doesn't make any sense.
It's Gandalf. But is it Gandalf the Grey or Gandalf the White?
Who are you? Ray Skywalker. That's how I felt right now.
No,
Jesus.
This is fucking stupid. I get it though. Oh my God. I can't remember when did they show Saruman the White?
Shortly before this scene. Yeah, so we should mention that. Saruman. So
very economical.
Saruman's one fucking scene, Christopher Lee, and I think it is voiced by Christopher Lee before he died.
Yeah.
Which sucks. Because this could have been his last like voice acting credits as Saruman. He has one fucking line.
Yeah.
And it's when he comes to the throne of Rohan. You know, it's still being rebuilt and everything, but the Freylof, who is now the king of Rohan, says, and Saruman the White shall now have ownership and proceed over Isengard.
Yeah, and you see his little character show up.
Yeah, and you see Saruman the White, and he says something along the lines of, I am forever at your service, King of Rohan. That's it.
That's it.
That's it.
That's it.
That's his only fucking line in this whole film. He could have had a way bigger role. Are you fucking shitting me?
I know. It was really sad. But I want to say, like, please watch this movie. Please support it because we do need Lord of the Rings.
I mean, Lord of the Rings, the movie rights.
We need more.
I mean, they don't really need money because the movie rights are now owned by Amazon.
We need Peter Jackson because, like, Peter Jackson made Lord of the Rings.
Go and watch The Hunt for Gollum when that comes out. That's how you can support Peter Jackson. As much like
we need to support him.
Peter Jackson. If you're a book loyalist, I can understand why you might have problems with this statement, but Peter Jackson is Lord of the Rings.
I need to watch the books or read the books on Audible because I can't read them.
Audible, I have them owned. We can listen to them.
I need to listen to them because my dyslexia cannot understand it.
So that's the movie.
Yeah.
It ends when
sorry, guys.
No, you're fine. We're having a great time. Hera rides off into the sunset.
Yeah.
Off to go do her own adventures and everything.
I love her as a character because that wedding dress.
And that's the end of the film.
Yeah,
you know?
that's it.
So
yeah,
I don't know what else to say about this. Like, it was.
It's a one-time watch, but it's not like a watch every year.
No, it's like watch every once in a while. Like if you're really bored, and you want something that's serviceable.
Well, because the anime style, like they don't blink, they don't really move around. So maybe you can listen to it, but even if you listen to it, it doesn't. Sometimes, like if you're a true Lord of the Rings fan,
I didn't even mention this. The 3D backgrounds are so horrible.
Oh, I wasn't even focused on that. I was focused more on the character. Because I remember your dad was asking about it, and I'm like, don't watch it.
Sometimes they mix 2-dimensional anime with 3-dimensional backgrounds, like especially when Hera's riding around Edoras. The 3D background they have in the background shot is horrible.
Oh.
It looks like PS2 graphics. It's fucking disgusting to
I
look
need
at.
to get my mom's input because she never watched Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
She didn't even know what it was until like after we got married, which our Lord of the Rings movie or wedding was themed around it.
Well,
I'm wearing the ring.
Mel, what are your final thoughts on this movie?
Okay, so the thing is, I like Hera. I do. I like her, but that's the only character I like. I like Sam. It's not really Sam, it's
Leaf.
Leaf. I don't even know half of these characters' name because I don't have any empathy.
A lot of them were so forgettable.
Where her brothers died, and I was like, I didn't even know that was her brothers, cousins, whatever. And it just seemed like a one-hit kill with his father, and I'm like, are you serious? There is no logical reasons why he wanted to get married other than power, but then I wanted to know what the power was.
Yeah.
What I want to see your kingdom in disarray. Why you need to get powered and to have this wedding. What was the fucking logical reason? You didn't love her, so obviously there was no wedding.
Yeah.
The only scene I liked is that she put on her wedding dress and she said, I'm going to marry death. Because I'm not going to marry you. Why would I marry you, Wolf? I don't. It's a one-time watch, and I think we really have to support this type of franchise, even though we don't like it, because we need more Lord of the Rings.
You know what this reminds me of? Terminator Zero.
Oh.
We just watched that not too long ago.
Oh.
Terminator Zero, it tried to do something new.
It did.
It honestly did. But it stumbled not only because of shitty animation, but because of poor story writing.
We need Peter Jackson.
This is the same thing. You're trying to do something new, which I commend. Like, you're not just rewriting the same old story. Like, you honestly did try to do something new.
Yeah.
But you fumbled the bag with the quality in other areas that it's so overtly distracting. Like, I can't get around that.
No. It would have been better with more animation.
Well, yeah, the animation team needed a fucking raise or a better team, like in general.
Because maybe we're distracted parents.
It was so bad.
Yeah.
The animation was so jittery and so distracting.
I felt no emotion.
It looked like it was shot at fucking 15 frames per second.
It did.
That's how bad it was.
I was even advising your father not to watch it because I was like, I feel bad if you watch it because he doesn't watch anime. There was no...
Well, we're going to close it out here.
Yeah. Please watch it, though, because we need that support for Lord of the Rings.
Long story short, it's a good one-time rental if you're a Lord of the Rings fan. Don't buy this film unless you absolutely fucking love it. Like, you saw the trailers and you were, like, so fucking hooked. Even then, I would recommend rent it first, and then if you're super in love with it, then buy it. But honestly, even if you're a hardcore Lord of the Rings film like I am, Lord of the Rings fan like I am, just do yourself a favor and rent this film for like $2.99 or whatever the fuck it is on Vudu or Amazon. And then if you're in love with it, then you can buy it and add it to your collection.
Well, we have to support things like this because if we really love it, and we need to show that they can produce more of it.
Well, Mel, do you have any last remarks before we close out?
I ain't peer pressuring anybody. You know, you don't have to buy it or anything like that. But I also feel like in today's world with how dark it is, that Lord of the Rings is the only thing that's kind of kept me happy.
Yeah.
And that if we have something like this kind of like put out there, then there's good messages. If I were to show my daughter Lord of the Rings, then I know that it's a good message out there. A lot of the new TV shows have really bad subliminal messages.
Yeah. Lord of the Rings is very much... Sorry if I interrupted you, but Lord of the Rings is very much an old school tale of good versus evil.
We need more of it. We fucking do. With everything that is so dark. You showed me Lord of the Rings. Like, that's the one thing that made me and you as more of a couple and very strong is because the first time I ever watched Lord of the Rings with you and the first time we ever got married is that, only time we ever got married, is that our wedding theme was around Lord of the Rings. Lord of the Rings made me fall in love with you more than anything.
Yeah. Well, anyway, that's our closing remarks on Lord of the Rings, The War of the Rohirrim. Rent it first and then buy it if you absolutely love it.
We got to support this, unfortunately.
My name is Adam Edgar, joined by my lovely wife, Melanie Edgar.
Oh, I thought you were going to call me Beer Wench.
The Beer Wench. This is Virtual Tavern,
Yeah.
and we will catch you guys on the next time. Peace out.
I have to go pee.
That's a great way to close it out. Yes.